Hi, this is Crystal Barger, the Blackboard Support Manager in Instructional Technologies with OIT at FAU. Today, I'm going to talk about the new features coming in the Blackboard Service Pack 14 update, scheduled for May 8th, 2014. I'm so excited about the new features that will be offered with this service pack. Quickly, here's an overview. You will now have availability exceptions, test feedback control, a test access log, as well as a few other improvements. Some other new features will include grade center improvements, course message notifications, improved group management, date management, and achievements. And a quick note about this video. You can quickly access other parts of the video by clicking on the terms below. It will time jump you ahead. If you see any YouTube video links on the slide, click and you can jump off to learn more about that feature. Okay, let's get started. Test availability exceptions allow instructors to select one or more groups of students and make a number of exceptions to provide accommodations for their students. You are able to change these settings at any time. Some types of exceptions that can be applied are the number of attempts, time allowed, auto-submit, availability of the test using start and end dates, and forced completion. Instructors now have the ability to control when and what feedback is given to students. By setting up rules, instructors can set the release of progressive feedback to keep test results secure, which could prevent cheating. For example, you can choose after submission to present only the score. Then after the due date of the test, you can show the students their score, all answers, correct, submitted, feedback, and even their incorrect answers. With the test access log, you will now see a detailed list for every interaction that students engage in when taking a test. If a student claims to have started a test, the log will show the time the test was started. If a network or internet disruption occurred during the test, the log would show an unusual gap in the time. Here are some other updated test features. When using multiple attempts, students will now have a clearer picture of how they progress to take a second or third attempt. With this new layout, you can see how students can easily retake their exam or view their previous attempt. In the test canvas, there is now an improved area for adding questions. You can add questions directly where you want them instead of having to drag and drop your questions after their creation. Also, there's a more streamlined question creation process. You can now submit and create another. This allows you to create the similar types of questions without having to go back to the main test canvas page. You also have improved due date options with this newly included feature. You can prevent students from taking the exam past the due date without having to set the availability dates. The Grade Center has a few improvements made. For the students, the My Grades can now be sorted by course, last activity, or due date. They can also narrow down the items listed by all, graded, upcoming, and submitted. Built right into the test and assignments, you can now score multiple attempts by a drop-down that lets you choose how you want these attempts graded. Instructors can now adjust the total points possible for a test. However, this does not change the point value of the questions. This could possibly be used to curve exams by reducing the total points possible. And finally, you can create grading schemas greater than 100%. Course messages can now be added to the notification options, which means you can decide to be notified via email when you receive a new message. You can also view new messages through the Updates page in the What's New module. The group management area has changed. You now have an All Users page. Here you can easily see which groups students are enrolled in, including students not currently in a group. You can easily modify group memberships right from this page. After the group creation, you now have an easy way to manage tool availability for all groups simply by clicking. On the All Groups page, you can now sort columns, perform bulk actions for deleting groups, and create Grade Center Smart Views. Also note, the import and export buttons. This means you can now bring your group enrollments outside of Blackboard and manipulate them. After you are done, you will be able to import them back into Blackboard and apply the changes. And lastly, you have an improved enrollments page. As you can see in the screenshot, the enrollments now include the student avatars for easy identification, as well as a more streamlined enrollment management window. You can use the Date Management tool to easily adjust all content and tool dates in your course. You access it from the Control panel under the Course Tools section. You can choose to adjust dates automatically or individually from one location. The Achievements tool allows instructors and course designers to designate criteria for issuing rewards to students in the form of both badges and certificates. Students can see which rewards they've earned and what is required of them to receive additional rewards. Students are able to share these awards outside of Blackboard, and instructors can easily see which students have reached their milestones. Basically, the instructors would define a description for their achievement, define the triggers, and pick a reward. A certificate could be printed and a badge can be shared on places such as websites, Facebook, Twitter, WordPress, and Tumblr, even their resumes or employment sites. Lastly, we're here to help. The best way to reach out to us is by submitting a ticket at helpdesk.fau.edu or by clicking on that red Submit a Ticket button that you will find in various locations around Blackboard. If you want to learn more, please visit our website or sign up for our training. Thanks, and I hope you're as excited about the new features as we are.